Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and try to record this again. I've been having trouble with my camera here, so hopefully I don't have to record this again, because if so, then yeah, that probably just won't do it. So anyway, I got a Snapchat from Coach Purdy this morning, and it's the one that he ended up posting on social media. And it was the one of him right after his run, and because we sometimes do that. I send him pictures of when I'm on my morning runs. He'll send me pictures after his morning run. We just do it, just kind of friendly banter, and also just kind of like updates. Well, he made a caption to the video or to his post, and something kind of stuck out to me. He talked about accountability and how we hold ourselves accountable and all that good stuff, and it reminded me of a video that I made when we first started this channel, and it was the one about the importance of goal making and steps to achieve such goals. And while I did talk about very small steps that were in that video about achieving goals, and they are good steps because they're not drastic, they're not gonna turn you away from trying to achieve things. I kind of glossed over one point that just seemingly it seems easy on the surface, but sometimes it's really not. And basically that's what the point of this video is just the importance of having a goal itself. A lot of ancient philosophers talked about this. I know Plato and Socrates used this phrase. It's know thyself. Even Socrates said something along the lines of an unexamined life is one not worth living. And that can be twisted 100 different ways, but I think for the sake of this video, it boils down to basically know thyself / know yourself as well. And the importance of that is like not only knowing what you want, but knowing your limitations, knowing who you are as a person. But and then, like I said, knowing what you want in life is probably the most important thing. That's something philosophers have battled with in life. Like, what is the ultimate goal of life? Well, know what you want out of life, just in general, because when you know that, you have a starting point, and that seems to be a problem. Is when people don't have a goal in mind. This seems to be a problem with a lot of people who go to clinical psychologists or psychiatrists for therapy. I've read many psychologists talk about this. They'll talk about how sometimes patients just don't know what they want out of the therapy, and that's obviously an issue. I mean, when you don't know what you want out of therapy, you have a million different outcomes, and with a million different outcomes, you have even more first steps that can be taken, and the likelihood of those steps being wrong are far greater than the ones that are going to lead you on the right path. So if you don't have an aim, you have a almost an infinite number of moves to make, and only a very, very minute amount of those moves are going to be proper ones. And that's why it's important to know what you want and what your end goal is. For those of y'all know who follow me on Instagram and Facebook and all that, you may have seen that I've kind of leaned out a little bit here recently. Well, that's what I've done. I've lost about 20, almost 25 pounds here soon. I'm coming up on the 25-pound mark. And for me, it was just like you can look back at my old hiking pictures from last year and then look at the ones I posted recently. I wasn't necessarily fat or out of shape or anything. It's just, I'm a short guy at a 5'9" frame. It's not optimal, and two, it just didn't look good for me to be almost 190 pounds. I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't out of shape, but I had some pudge on me. To me, I looked a little doughy, and I just didn't like it. I wasn't necessarily 100% happy. I felt like my face was kind of, fat, and I was just not eating correctly, and I wanted to change that, especially because my genetics are not necessarily the best genetics in the world, and I know the dangers of obesity within my family, or just in obesity in general. It's a terrible thing. But so I was getting ready for a grappling tournament, and I decided I wanted to lose. I lost enough to make weight at that tournament, and I think it was around, I think it was like 10 plus pounds at that point. So I lost that weight, and then when I got down to there, I was like, man, I want to keep seeing where I want to go with this. And I got down to back into the 160 pounds. I haven't weighed this much in years, and I've actually feel better now than I did even back in the day when I was 160 pounds, just because I'm doing it at healthier way, and I'm exercising different. I'm no longer going for strength, just because being 23, 24 years old, it's not fun having your shoulders ache. It's not all about, lifting. I want to be a functional person. And so that was my goal. And for me, I started out small. Like I said, I started out losing enough weight to make weight for this tournament. I didn't want to compete in the 180s, close to the 190s. So I was like, I want to be in the 170s, and that was my goal. And I feel like that, there's nothing crazy with doing that. Sometimes you have to take your ultimate goal and break it into smaller subsets, in a sense. So for instance, like my overall goal, my meta goal was weight loss. And it started out saying basically my meta goal is weight loss, and then it was like the sub goal, lose 10 pounds, make weight for the tournament. After that, it was like, let's lose another 10 because you want to be healthy, you want to be functional, but you don't want to be too skinny, you still want to be somewhat strong. So I lost another 10, and in turn, I've lost 20 pounds at that point. And, I started out doing small things, and that's extremely important as well, is, starting out small, not doing anything that's, ludicrous and, making these drastic changes that you're not going to be able to keep up for a long period of time. I started going to bed earlier, not going out later at night. Instead of going to bed around midnight, I'm going to bed around 10 p.m. or maybe even 9:45ish. I'm waking up earlier in the morning. I started waking up around 6 a.m. and I started getting everything done earlier, being more productive. Productivity is a great thing because it makes you feel better and you feel like you can accomplish more. Well, that's how I started off, and I would wake up earlier. I would get runs in. I would go get a good breakfast in. I would go hit the gym because I knew if it hit 12 o'clock in the afternoon and I had not hit the gym, I was just not going to go. So I started doing that, and I started feeling better, and I started making other small changes, and then I started making bigger changes. So instead of it started out just waking up earlier, hitting the gym earlier, doing a little bit of cardio. Then it started eliminating all like sugary substances that that are just unnecessary, like sodas, sweet tea. I might still have like a glass a day or half a glass a day or something just for flavor. But like cutting out that, like not eating sweets, like not going to Krispy Kreme when I get off work. Actually making sure I have food at the house that is healthy for me, and not eating stuff that's coming through the window of my car. You know what I mean? And in turn, I've lost almost 25 pounds. I feel better. You can look at my pictures. I probably look a little bit better. I've actually let my hair grow out too. My face is kind of leaned up, and I feel great. And that's just what I wanted to kind of talk about today, though. I don't want to make this video about me and what I've done, because that's not what this is about. It's about you guys. And whether you're a school teacher, whether you're a wrestler, high school, middle school, if you're in college, you're watching this. If you're just like trying to graduate college and you're trying to figure out, what you want to do, or like how to get an A in a class or something like that. That's pretty much what this is about. Is just having a goal, and the importance of, if you want a better life, what is the first step? It's not these small steps to achieve goals. It's to make the goal itself. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. It's just like I said earlier, like the old philosophers said, just know thyself. When you know yourself and you have an aim, you have a set path. And when you have that set path, you know the steps to take from there. And it's easy. It's just like following a trail in the woods. If you have a destination and you have your destination in mind, there's going to be a trail. You follow that and you just keep on going, and eventually you'll hit your goal. You may run into some little side things here and there that might be even better for you, and or you can achieve something even bigger. You never know. So that's just what I wanted to talk to you quickly about today, guys. So just remember, know thyself.